Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Your Stars Aligned. I'm Carmina and I'm an astrologer and a card reader. And today for Interactive Wednesdays, I thought I would make a video where I would answer a question that I get asked quite a lot by you guys, and it's when did you first started learning astrology? How did it take you long to learn these principles, is it difficult? And I'm going to do my best to answer all that for you guys today. Okay, so let's go back in time. I learned how to read when I was 3 years old, okay? And ever since I've been really passionate about reading. First it was the storybooks, like the books of legends, Grimm tales and all that, all very interesting. I know you believe, okay, those are just kids tales, but no, they have this encrypted, encapsulated wisdom. Like if you read it as an adult, you can see there are these patterns, like magical patterns, magical numbers. Some things happen 3 times, so that's very important to keep in mind. And I was really interested in that stuff. And when I was a bit older, maybe I was like 8 or 9, I liked comic books, and I was reading Mickey Mouse comic books. And in one magazine I found in the middle a leaflet where all the sun signs were written down, and for every sun sign, every zodiac sign, there was a short description, some keywords, and there was also like a gemstone associated with it. And I thought, oh my god, this is the coolest thing. I still have that leaflet. I kept it because that was, it's something significant to me. And after that, okay, I started like taking note of people's sun signs. I had like this little agenda where a little agenda, a secret agenda. And I was writing my classmates like sun signs, and I was trying to see if that fits with their description, right? But mind you, this was like early 90s, and back then, in a former uh, communist country, like in the Eastern European area, we didn't have like much information, many books about astrology typically, right? So I did with what I could. For instance, at some point I was like 9 maybe or 10, and I was visiting my aunt who lived in a different city, and she had this book about the astrological signs, like more consistent than the small leaflet I had, and it was so interesting. And I only later realized it was Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, because I read that book, but as a child I didn't really remember the name of the author. But then as an adult I read it again, and I'm like, wait a minute, I read this book before. Okay. So yeah, that was a fun experience. And then in my aunt's library again, at some point I found a book about compatibility, and like I was hitting puberty, I was like maybe around 12, and I was like, oh, compatibility, maybe. Okay, maybe that guy is a Cancer and he likes that girl because she's a whatever. So it was very interesting to me to see how those things would match up, right? So yeah, so this still happens in the 90s. Then flash forward to the 2000s, like when the internet became more available, I started to research on I don't know, on forums, on several websites and blogs and whatever stuff there was there. Of course, I was studying Western astrology because that's what I knew. And yeah, but um, I was also like minding my other university studies. I was doing other things. So at that moment, like astrology was just like a passion, a hobby that I kept going back to, but I wasn't like pursuing it consistently every day. So that's what was happening back then. And at some point I was like, oh my god, I really want to pursue this consistently. And yeah, I was watching some YouTube videos about astrotheology and like the correspondence between astrology and religion and how it all fits together, also with the fairy tales, you know, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I decided, okay, I want to learn astrology from a more reliable official source, right? And but I couldn't really afford it at the time, and I was like, okay, I found this online school of astrology in Canada, I think it was, and I applied for a scholarship. They offer scholarship to like a couple of people a year from Eastern Europe, and I was like, okay, and I got that scholarship. I completed the study, I got a diploma. But I still felt it wasn't enough and I needed more. And then in 2013 I enrolled in official classes with like the only astrology school in Romania, and I I went through all those classes. I finished those classes. I even went to a conference in 2014 where I learned a lot about horary astrology, and it was so amazing. So yeah, that was satisfying for a while. I was doing my own charts. I was looking at my friends' charts, and I was looking at the charts of friends, right? And in the meantime, I was also like, um, I'll tell you my card story another time, okay? This is my astrology story. And okay, so that was happening then, but at some point, so I was looking at my chart, at the charts of friends and the chart of friends, and I really had like amazing results with horary astrology, right? So there was this friend of friend, and I looked at her chart, and I could see like her marriage was falling apart, and she was like already seeing another guy, and I could see all that in a horary chart, and I could find like missing objects. So I thought, oh my god, this is like the best thing. And you know, horary astrology like uses principles from medieval or classical astrology, right? So first I learned the more modern version, but then I'm like, okay, this is more precise. I can get more stuff done with this. So I was like looking more into that. Yeah, then I also found out that there's this other type of astrology, which is like Persian astrology, and I started reading a bit into that, but I didn't like go really profoundly for a year. About a year in 2015, I didn't like read anything at all. Up to then, I had read like dozens of books on astrology, but in 2015, I don't know, uh, I was like, okay, I don't want to know what's happening. I don't want to know it from, I don't want to know in advance. I'm just gonna let life happen or whatever. And but I couldn't really stay away for long. I guess I was just dissatisfied, like with the techniques of Western astrology, that it couldn't quite give me like all that I needed, like all the sets, I don't know, inner satisfaction that I needed, right? So then into early 2016, I came across Vedic astrology, but I started to do it sidereally for about 6 months, but I don't know, it didn't really resonate with me sidereally. Like my Hori Prashna charts didn't make sense anymore. Also, people's charts, like I was like way off. So I was like, oh my God, like what's happening? What am I gonna do now? And at some point, I saw this YouTube interview of Ernst Wilhelm, and I'm like, oh my God, I can really resonate with this man. Like, I get what he's saying, and I want to hear more. So I signed up for his classes on astrologyvideos.com. And then at the same time, and the same day, or a day after, I think it was, yeah, it was like September 15 for one and 16 for the other. I signed up for the Cards of Truth classes because I found them both at the same time and they were both as fascinating, right? So, yeah, so when I found all that information, I was like, oh my God, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't do anything. Like most of my day was like spent studying and studying and like taking in all this information. So yeah, for about a year I just like took in as much information as I could, and um, I guess it was like less than a year, but I don't know, about a year. But then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna be practicing it. Oh, and I actually also did some tutoring classes with Corey, where like it helped me to, I don't know, get out of my shell with chart interpretation and stuff. And then I think it was in May last year when I launched my website and I started writing articles, and then I started offering consultations. I've had like excellent feedback both from my teacher, from my colleagues, and from my clients. So yeah, you can read about it in the testimonial section on my website. You can read the articles that I've been writing. I've also started writing a book about how the Gemini principles apply in musicians' charts, because I love Gemini and I love musicians, so it was only natural that I would do something about that, right? So I'm really interested in like, I really love like looking at the charts and see how everything makes sense, like, and what can you do like to improve your life and the way you feel about things. I really love to do research on like hardcore research on like hundreds of charts, because if you look at 10, 20, 30 charts, that is nothing. You have to look at hundreds in order to test techniques, right? And yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy studying all the time and thinking about this stuff and see how it works, how you can apply it practically in your life. So that's what my channel is mostly about, right? So yeah, if you have like video ideas or stuff like that, if you have other questions for me, post them below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you hit that bell, you're gonna get notifications whenever I post a new video. So yeah, that's about it for today, you guys. I don't know, I love sharing this experience with you guys, because here where I live, like, people are not into astrology, especially Vedic astrology, so I have no one to talk to about this. But I love talking to the world, right? Because thank you, internet. Okay, so yeah, don't forget to check out my website, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.